there's certainly a perception in the West that Trump is the danger when it comes to a unified Ukraine policy across the West. That much is clear. Now, whether it's real or not remains to be seen. The fact is that last night Donald Trump did not say he wanted to see Ukrainian victory, which is, of course, what leaders across the West have said. He did say he wanted to end the war, which is, of course, what leaders in the West also want. But there is a disconnect between the two positions. And I suppose the fear is that he is prepared to end the war on any terms in order just to end the war, try and force Ukraine into that. I mean, frankly, try and force perhaps Russia into it as well. And, in reality, I think we're quite a way off from either of those parties on the ground actually wanting a solution, or at least one that isn't, sort of in Putin's case, grossly unfair to Ukraine. So I think those doubts are there. They're still very much alive after last night's debate because of Trump's refusal to talk about it. But it is worth bearing in mind that lots of people around Trump have been, sort of trying to pour cold water on these sort of concerns, saying, don't be daft. We were very, vigorously, sort of normative in our Russia approach in the first administration. That's unlikely to change. The reality is that we just don't know. We don't know what Donald Trump would turn up on day one of a Trump 2 administration.
These dictators and autocrats are rooting for you to be president again because they're so clear. They can manipulate you with flattery and favors. And that is why so many military leaders who you have worked with have told me you are a disgrace.
Ukraine, I think it's pretty clear from what she said last night that Kamala Harris intends to continue the policies of the Biden administration in Ukraine. Now, that, of course, will be music to the ears of European nations. There remains, of course, the big question about, funding and supply of Ukraine. And, Trump's quite clear on, Europe needs to do more on all aspects of defence. Kamala Harris is a lot softer on that. But the reality on here is the Europeans do need to do more. What's been quite clear is that their defence industries have atrophied. They're not sort of fit for purpose to face the Russian threat. And there does need to be an urgent sort of, kind of clarion call from the White House to get everyone moving in Europe towards a more sophisticated and united defence. The reality is that, you've got plenty of examples of him being, tough with dictators, for example, in Iran, very tough with the autocrats of Iran, no love lost there, friendly to, MBS in Saudi Arabia, a different kind of autocrat. So, the point is that Trump can turn up in different ways on different issues. And I think he's very transactional. I think he looks for what can be deemed to be victories. But there are lines, it appears, that he doesn't cross. A good example is, his sort of dealings with North Korea. If you remember, he surprised everyone and sort of, concerned everyone by trying to reach out to North Korea. But then when it became apparent that there would be no deal done or a deal that wouldn't be done on American terms, he was quite happy to walk away from that burgeoning relationship. So I'm not sure it's about Trump liking dictators per se, although there may well be something in his, kind of makeup that likes, what he would term strong leadership. But in practical terms, in his first term, it was all about what he could get out for America. And if a dictator crossed him, they were dead to him.